Hello everybody and welcome back. As always, I am Mateo311 and this is your one channel for everything VR related. Today, we're going over the top free games for the Oculus Quest. Now I previously made this video, but it's out of date and a lot of the games on that list are no longer free, so now I have a whole new list of amazing titles. And even better, this list does not require side quests at all. These are all official Oculus Store or App Lab titles. I'm going to order these from my least to most favorite, and let's not waste any more time and jump right into this. So the first game up is TraVRsal, and this one makes the list based on how unique it is. It features non-Euclidean geometry, which will have you pacing back and forth in your play space, but the in-game world will continue to grow and move on. It's not the first game ever to use this feature, but it also offers multiple different game modes, a world builder if you want to design something yourself, and it's a great option for people who suffer from artificial locomotion-induced motion sickness. Since all the movement you do in-game is your actual footsteps, you won't have to worry about having your VR legs. It'll be multiple hours before the novelty wears off, and you've explored all the different game worlds. Now if you only want to stick to one world, our next title is Gym Class. Gym Class is a great recreation of indoor basketball. There's realistic physics, you can join up to 7 people in game, and if you suffer from a lack of ups, you'll still have no problem dunking. The title's currently in early access, so there's not much to it, but it's a great way to socialize with a group of people, or play it alone practicing some crazy dunks and your 3-point shot. There's not a huge selection of VR sports games to begin with, so it's great that we have a free option. And while we're on the topic of free, our next title is a game that has a paid option, but the developers made the majority of it free to help keep the player base up. We are of course talking about Touring Kart, which is a lot like Mario Kart in VR. It supports up to 8 people in online multiplayer matches, there's 22 different tracks, a large array of different power-ups, 30 different cars, and even a single-player campaign. The paid version of the game is $14.99, but honestly you're not missing much, and the main reason to buy it is to help support the developers. Now another developer that you might want to support is the creator of Gorilla Tag. Now I'll be honest, Gorilla Tag isn't for me, but there's no denying how successful this title is, and how much fun people claim to have playing this title. There's also a steep learning curve that is unbelievably satisfying when you finally get the hang of it. When you first get in game, you're gonna struggle to move a few feet, and you're gonna be amazed watching people jump from tree to tree and scale a building in 2 seconds. For this alone, Gorilla Tag is definitely worth checking out. Now if you're looking for some more action in your games, but you don't want to spend money on titles like Larcenauts or Onward, well then we have Aim XR. Aim XR is an online 5v5 shooter, which is very reminiscent of Counter-Strike. It features realistic weapons, but it's definitely a lot more arcadey than something like Onward. If online play is not for you, well you could spend some time just mowing down some bots. The game's currently in an alpha state, but this is the type of title that I expect one day will eventually be a paid application. Speaking of paid applications, we have Pavlov Shack. Now it's free right now on the Oculus Quest, but that's mainly because it's still in development. Pavlov is the undisputed PC VR shooter, which is a near perfect clone of Counter-Strike in VR. The Quest version doesn't quite match the PC VR version just yet, but it keeps inching closer and closer. Now the Quest version is missing all those amazing mods you get on PC VR, but the core gameplay is there and it's just as fun. So jump in and start enjoying this game right now, because it's one title I can guarantee will be a paid application in the future. Now all of our next titles are definitely free and will remain free. They might just have a season pass or some in-game purchases, but you don't have to worry about them becoming a paid app later down the road. First up is Vrchat, VR's #1 social application. While the Quest version of this title is severely limited compared to the PC VR version, there's still countless worlds to explore. I've played matches of Among Us, had some Mortal Kombat style duels, and just got to chill with some really cool people. Vrchat is like having a whole new life, and while it might not be for everyone, you need to experience it at least a few times. Now if you'd rather your social application to be more focused on just chilling and watching some content, we have Big Screen. Whenever I have a movie that my family doesn't want to watch, and I don't want to watch it alone, I will set up a room in Big Screen. Now the Oculus Quest version doesn't have the same capability of streaming as the PC VR version, but there's still plenty of free content and rooms to jump into. The Oculus Quest 2 screen does a great job, and it's actually a really solid movie watching experience. If you ever want to join me for some of those movie watching experiences, go ahead and join my Discord and you'll get a notification of when I plan to stream a movie. Now another great free app is Rec Room. I dragged my feet on this title for a really long time. It just looked way too kidsy for someone like me. And yes, you will find a lot of younger kids in this game, but I still always have so much fun playing. There's a huge selection of game modes and user-generated content, and since this game is on so many different platforms now, the player base is huge. There's also a pretty insane amount of unlockable items in this game. For some people, this is the only game they will ever need, and they play it every single day. But if you want more of a dialed-in, hardcore competition title, we have Echo VR. Echo VR is like Rocket League meets rugby in space. It has the same type of learning curve as Rocket League, so when you first start playing, you'll struggle just to collect the disc, but after a week or so, you'll be pulling off crazy maneuvers, and then bouncing the disc off multiple walls and scoring from across the field. The skill gap can definitely be intimidating, and the game can even be toxic at times, but there's really nothing else like it, and progressing feels so satisfying. It's easily one of the most polished free titles, and if you really get into it, there are season passes, which are not pay to win and only feature cosmetic items. So go ahead and install Echo VR. You'll find out quickly enough if you love this game or if it's just not for you. Okay guys, so here's my favorite free app, the one I turn on more than anything else, and win or lose, I still really enjoy playing this game. So I kept you in suspense long enough, and this game is Karts and Tankards. I actually never played card games like Magic the Gathering, and I was a bit overwhelmed by the game's complexity when I first started playing, but after almost no time, I felt very comfortable. But it's one of those games where experience makes a huge difference. After you see a card played multiple times, you might be able to guess the strategy your opponent's going for, but if it's something you've never seen before, you're most likely about to be blindsided. Working on building that perfect deck, or just the luck of the draw, always keeps this game exciting. And best of all, you can fill up a tavern with up to 15 of your friends, and just hang around some tables watching people play. If you have any interest in card games at all, you owe it to yourself to install Karts and Tankards. Okay guys, that was a list of my favorite free Oculus Quest titles. There are other great free titles out there that I failed to include. There's also excellent choices on SideQuest, but SideQuest will be a separate video, and I also wanted to make sure this video is different than the previous one I did. If you haven't seen that video, I will include a card for you to click, but just know going in, some of those titles are no longer free. Okay everybody, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you're new here, please consider subscribing, and as always, I will see you guys on next time.